Hello everybody. So today in this video I wanted to examine or add to my series of videos on ways I collect. This one today is my out the front collection. There you go. Bye. So let's go in order of the way well, really kind of the way I've collected them, or how my collective tastes have evolved as opposed to the size at which I've got laid out here. And we'll start with the first one that I acquired years ago, and you can kind of tell from the damage on this thing that it's been through the ringer. It's a no-name Chinese brand big old piece of probably garbage steel that strangely enough hasn't worn too badly despite a little bit of use, and it's made out of like this really heavy cheap nickel aluminum material that's just insane, but it works. So that was my first one, and of course I thought, well, that's a cool knife, and so I wanted to get something a little higher end down the way, and then I came across Cobra Tech here. Now, Cobra Tech is an American company, supposedly making the knives here in the United States. However, there's some apparent controversy if you buy all the parts in China and then you just assemble them here as to whether it's made in the US. And I'm not exactly clear on what's going on or not, but that's the rumor I have heard. Regardless, I can tell you about this knife. I think the D2 is actually probably an OS 8 or 8CR. Based on sharpening it. It does seem to hold up pretty well. The knife has held up pretty well, but I can make it fail just by wiggling it back and forth, which is, not necessarily the best thing, but I know exactly when and why it fails, so there's that. Moving right along, so then I got into Microtech, and in no real order, we'll go from my biggest to smallest Microtechs, and then lastly we'll close out with this guy here, my UTX, otherwise known as Ultratech bayonet. It's an LMAX steel. Excellent knife. Unlike the other, I can't get it to fail, but it's got a really stiff spring, and it's pretty good knife. I love the gray of the handle. I'm not the biggest fan of the bayonet. I mean, that back edge is nice. I will go so far as to say that despite the thicker stock, this sucker is like razor sharp. I accidentally dropped it and probably came pretty close to slicing off like 3 of my fingers trying to catch it. It was insane. Yeah, it's really sharp, so be careful with those if you have one. Moving right along, we have the UTX 85, which of course, if you can't tell, it's in a wonderful blue color, and I've seen a little bit of use. There's some snail trails there. Can you see those? Well, the camera doesn't want to pick them up, but boy, my eye sees them. Huh. A little bit of wear and tear you can see right there. Did I see them there? Yeah, a little snail trail there. Just does not want to show up. The blade's been used a little bit. Nothing heavy. So I can't really tell you much about the coating, except that it seems to be holding up well. Very nice edge on the blade, as you can see. It needs a little bit of work, but it's doing really nicely. It doesn't get as much carry, mainly because it's got a really weak clip. I'm sure I could bend it back down and tighten it, but I don't know. I'm lazy. Alright, moving right along. So then, one of my all-time favorites, and these two knives actually are always in my pocket, literally every day, and that's my UTX 70, and this little guy in the full dagger. Again, it's a relatively thick stock for such a low height of blade, but it is sharp as can be, and it will cut things. And really like the idea of having a dagger that's like the size of my finger. I mean, just, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, it's always with me. And then my mini Troodon as well. Also a great little knife. Now this one, interestingly enough, I think I can also get it to fail. Yep, there you go. It's one of the only Microtechs I've had that I can get to fail. It's a relatively low number. This is number 374. When they just came out, but beyond that, being able to shake it into failing, it's a reliable knife, and great edge. As you can see, it's had a little bit of use there. M390. And again, the steels on all the Microtechs are pretty darn good. These both are in LMAX. This is in 204p. And this is in M390. Very good steels all the way around. Lastly, moving back up into here, this little guy. This is a Boker Hogue knife. Now, Hogue makes autos. Boker can't make autos in Germany, something to that same effect. They can't sell them there. They've gone with Hogue, and apparently they've also gone with Cobra Tech to make some here. But by far the Hogue is much more on par with Microtech, as far as I can tell in terms of quality. You can see that there's just a tad bit of blade rub here when it comes out on this this coating. I don't know if it's Cerakote or DLC. I'm gonna think it's a Cerakote. And one thing I can say about this is in CPM 154 cm, and the edge on this thing is insane. It came mirrored from the factory, and it is just insanely sharp. So, well, there you go. In conclusion, this is my collection of OTFs. As you can tell, I do favor Microtech, although I'm kind of curious to see how the Boker collab is with Cobra Tech. And then, as you can see, I also like a wide variety of blade shapes and sizes. I don't have any particular favorite. Probably your more standard drop point would probably be, or a clip point would probably be my choice, but I do like the Tantos on either end. The least favorite probably is going to be the bayonet. And in a small blade, the dagger is just incredibly fun. Don't have an exoset. I've looked at it, thought about it, but not there yet. Just a little bit too small, and I have another money clip knife, so I'm pretty happy with things the way they are. This is a very satisfying part of my collection. I enjoy it quite a bit. I hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful day. This has been Patrick. Bye.